Hello, friends. Welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we'll be creating a winter bucket list. Such a fun way to add a bit of DIY seasonal decor to our planners. So let's get to it. And I'll be using this hole punch here, along with a ruler, some clear printable sticker paper, a sheet out of this cardstock pack, and these sticker books, which I'll pull from. Okay, you guys, so first off, I went ahead and grabbed out one of these 12 by 12 cardstock papers and then cut it down to 8.5 by 11 so I could run it through my printer. And then I went and printed the free printable that you can find down in the description below on both some of that clear sticker paper that I showed in the beginning, just for the title here that says Winter Fun. And then on the back of the cardstock, I printed out the actual bucket list items, which is the second page of the freebie. So both of those can be found down below in the description, and I'm giving those away for free, so feel free to download them and make your own winter fun bucket list right along with me. The first thing I'm going to do here is just cut out the quote, making it fairly neat and tidy up against the lettering. And then I have, like I said, printed out the second page of the winter bucket list on the back there, the freebie. It is made for an 8-inch circle, and I did this in the fall, but actually printed out the bucket list separately, not on the cardstock, and then glued it to the back. And I wanted to try actually printing it directly onto the back of the cardstock since it's single-sided, and went ahead and did that. It's a little bit trickier here because you have to make sure that you're keeping everything centered, and then when we're doing the front part of this design, you also want to make sure you have a little bit of extra room on the edges so that you can fussy cut. So what I ended up doing was just cutting it down to 8.5 inches top and bottom, and left it at the 8.5 inches wide size to make a square just a little bit larger than the final cut size, if you will. I also cut it in half to make sure that I was centering all the items on the front. I thought that was the best way to approach it because I wasn't really sure how to make sure that everything was properly aligned on the front as with the back, but I did that and it came out really close to center, but definitely was not centered top to bottom. So you'll see there's some extra room at the bottom once it's all done, but for the most part it worked. So you have to be a little bit more careful when you do print directly on the cardstock before you go ahead and do the decor part of things. Just wanted to put that out there so that you guys are being mindful of that. I also cut it down by finding the center mark on the printable, just kind of taking the middle and measuring between two of the boxes since it's about 1 inch wide, and then just use that as the halfway mark to get a nice centered cut for the back of this bucket list. Okay, so all the technical issues aside, now I've laid down some wax paper and am just pulling some random winter items in and around this circular shape that I want to create. Normally I would pencil in a line so I would know exactly how wide to do the circle. I wish I would have done that. I was kind of just going off of the fact that we had a 8.5 inch square behind here and was just kind of bringing things in a little bit. But this winter bucket list came out a little bit smaller than my fall bucket list that I did a couple of months ago. And although I liked it, I kind of wish I would have done a circle first on the background just so I could expand out the stickers a little bit more and make the bucket list a little bit bigger overall. So that was one thing that I would change if I was doing this differently, but it still comes out really cute, just a little bit smaller than I had envisioned. And I'm just going through a bunch of different Planny Things sticker books that I have. Her style of stickers all kind of seem to match up for the most part. You know, a lot of the designs are similar watercolor, kind of muted tones, not too bright. So I thought that that would be a good way to bring in some winter feels from different sticker books and still have it feel cohesive. I didn't have anything that was just solidly like one style of sticker that I thought I could use to really fill up this wreath. So that was the method I ended up going with. I will have all the books that I used linked down below in the description if you see stickers here that you just have to have. Although I will say some of these books are older, and a lot of times that means that they're no longer being sold. But I will link them down below if there's a link, and at least list the name in case you may have that sticker book already or have access to one somehow through a friend or somewhere else if it's not available to purchase. And I am getting pretty close to closing this circle here. I'm adding a little bit of snowy vibe underneath a couple of these stickers just to have a little bit more color. And like I said, I was going for this circle. Do wish it had been a little bit larger. I am bringing in all kinds of things from different places and putting it together, trying to make sure that anything that's from the same collection is separated out on this circle wreath shape that I'm creating, just to give that variety, more of a random feel of different winter items. I have mixed in some holiday items along with more just pure winter items. I do want this to be something I can use through January and February as well, up into spring. So I am keeping it not too holiday-esque, but there will be some holiday elements in here since I envision doing a lot of those items during the holiday season. And here you can kind of see where things got a little bit harder to maneuver because of that smaller circle. I have measured out the sizing of the title to really fit the full 8-inch circle, and so I was just trying to map out where that was going to go, and it was a lot tighter than I had expected it to be. And of course, I forgot to restart my camera, so we've jumped ahead here. I've already moved all those stickers onto the cardstock and went ahead and punched the two sides of our wreath here so that it'll be ready to go into the spine once we cut it down. Next, we're going to place this title, and I do need to maneuver some things just to make sure everything fits and nothing gets cut off or is within the spine. Again, I would highly recommend making your circle just a smidge bigger. I think it will work a lot better. I will link my fall bucket list video below just so you guys can kind of see what I mean by a larger circle and just how things should fit in, since the word fun is the exact same as the one that I used on my fall bucket list. Just something to give you a reference to if you aren't really sure what I mean by making things a little bit larger. And now I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out the edges here of this wreath. I am checking the back quite a bit just to make sure I'm not going to be cutting into any words. Another thing that was a little bit trickier with the smaller circle. So I know I keep saying that, but I want you guys to be aware when you are building out your own so that you don't face the same issues that I did. And I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting out the opposite side. I am leaving a slight border around the stickers, just making it easier for myself so that I don't have to get too exact with the cutting. It just gives a little bit of a border too on the edges, which I like the look of. And we will clean those things up and push down those stickers, make sure everything is nice and sealed. I did have a little bit of an overlap there onto one of the holes, so I'll just clean that out. I use my Happy Planner punch. It's notoriously temperamental, so there was definitely some hanger-ons there that needed to be cleaned up. And I just don't like the way that the end got cut off, so I'm going to try and reuse one of the trimmings here just to make it look a little bit cuter. So I'm just going to trim off that straight edge and kind of have it curve out off the wreath. And that's looking good. We did get a really good print on the back. I just, as you can see, had things be a little bit higher up than I wanted them to be. And then I remembered on the fall bucket list too, I actually ended up adding some stickers to the back, and I thought, oh, that would be a good way to camouflage that little extra space at the bottom. So I'm going back into the sticker books and looking for stickers that kind of tie to each of the major categories there that I have for bucket list items. For this winter bucket list, I've actually changed up the categories a little bit from the fall one. The categories are visit, decorate, savor, craft, give, and relax. So I thought those would be a little bit more appropriate for this time of year, where things are a little more low-key, but also the holidays are here and a lot of us do some extraness as far as decorating and crafting at this time. So I made some adjustments, and I hope you guys like these items as much as I do. And just looking through those sticker books now for a few more items to coordinate with those titles. This is a little bit trickier than I thought it would be. Some of them weren't hard at all, like the gifts and the decorating, but up at the top, like visit, I'm not real sure, and craft, I don't have anything in mind for that, so we'll figure out what we're going to do. Kind of thought this creative, light looking thing, like kind of look like garland for a tree or something, so a lot of people will craft that. I put that in the top section, and I think that fit pretty well actually, being that it's a little bit tighter up there. And now I'm looking for something too for visit, maybe a few other items for relax or for savor. I think that cup of hot cocoa is a good one, and maybe these socks for relax. And then this little house I think is a good one too for visit. So we'll do that. That's all looking good up there. I feel like I need something to fill the bottom though, so I'm just going to look for some random items that are kind of more generic winter and put those down at the bottom. Maybe just some snowy trees would be the best solution there, although they're a little bit too big for the space. I'll cut them down and see if I can put them up here on the spine to help minimize how much space they take up. And then trim off the excess. And that looks cute. We'll clean out the holes too. I'll probably add a little bit more too on the side. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like bucket lists just really help me get out and go and have fun. I tend to be a bit more of a workaholic. I don't have any kids, so there's not a lot kind of pushing me to go out and do fun things. So this is really a way to just keep me having fun and enjoying life. So enjoy that printable. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, to go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!